but I'll be happy if you pretend like I'm speaking something interesting. Here, let me ask you, what is the name of our activity? Idiom
Dictionary.
Okay, what do you think? What we want to teach with this activity for you?
Idioms.
Okay. What's idiom? What do you know?
Set of words
Or
which have different meanings.
or group of words.
With all together, yes?
Yes.
And now here, I will show one picture, and you should try to find what does it mean. For example, this one.
Money
It's
talks.
dollars.
It's
Picture of
dollar.
dollars. And can you give
Money talks.
money talks?
Money
Yes, money
talks.
talks. Yes. Without this explanation, can you give yourself? Is it possible to give appropriate item
Explanation.
without this one? If we don't give you the item itself,
Money
you
watches.
can
No.
you
We
can
can guess.
say you can guess. Yes.
Yeah, we can guess.
What about this one?
This arm and leg.
Arms, leg.
Arms, leg. Coats, arm, and a leg.
Right.
What does it mean?
Very expensive.
Okay, what does it
Arm and leg. Sorry, arm and leg.
mean? Okay, what about this one?
Bend over, bend over.
Backward.
What does it mean? Okay. Can everyone do bend over backwards?
No.
What do you think? Who can bend over backwards?
Acrobat, sportsman.
It means
Professional.
yes. It means this item means to be willing to do something very well, and those person who wants to do something well or who has strong desire can do everything. Yes, it means this one. And here,
All bark and
No
no
bite.
bite.
all bark and all bite.
Ütrer kilometer.
Oh, no bark, but no bite.
And thank you for participation. What I want to say here is that sometimes when we want to teach something difficult to our high-level students, it's really useful to use not only theory or something explanations. You may use such kind of interesting things in order to make the lesson and the topic easy to them. And in this case, your students will have better understanding of different items, not only items, phrases, or different high level or advanced vocabulary also is possible to use in this way. And you don't need a lot of time for this. If you work in group, you may have 10 to 15 minutes for this activity.
Question.
Yes.
How much time will you give for thinking?
For thinking, 2 minutes for peer. If it's peer work, may give some not much, but little time. Yes. Then sharing.
I have a question. What is the object?
Objective here to teach grammar, any grammar point. Here our objective is to teach idioms and better understanding of grammar point or vocabulary point to our students.
This presentation was very good with the questions. Notice that all of you are going to ask questions. We've changed the format. One thing that's lacking is a good objective. And you want to go back and look at the notes on objectives with the SMART specific, measurable, A is attainable, R is relevant, and T is time bound.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that objective might be a little bit better written, but the activity is adorable, the artwork is beautiful. Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, this is our next, we are the next, so are you with me all?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What is the first thing you paid attention in this paper?
It's like a snake.
Snake.
The first is, it's like a train pathway. We plagiarized it from our man. He presented us 2 days before game, but it is adapted one.
And I plagiarized from
So-
Activity.
Okay, so what is the second thing or next thing you paid attention here?
Steps.
So,
And the
as you see 3 steps, okay, we will go back to module 4 and 5. I would like to ask you several questions. So, do you remember gradual release?
Yeah. Of responsibility.
From difficult
Okay, it's like tactics, right? From easy to difficult, or from controlled to free practice. See?
Ah, good.
You can see 3 steps here. See? What do you think? What is the first step about?
Young learners.
It is highly controlled, okay?
Moderately controlled.
Second step is moderately controlled, and then third one is
Free practice.
free practice. Okay. What we are gonna do on the first step? What do you think? So you can see the words, right?
Yeah.
What we are gonna do?
You have to divide into groups.
The first step is we are going to divide the students into small groups in case we could have easy way to get to their mind. I mean, we are going to work on their critical thinking. The second thing is I would like to explain you time. Those 3 steps takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And the objects of this game is not to teach, but work on critical thinking of the students. Specific vocabulary like maybe professions, maybe something that students can think, question and reflect at the end of the lesson. And about age level, we thought that it will be welcome with high level students. So, on the first step, as you see, there will be some vocabulary. Teacher controls this step. She asks maybe from small groups, there will be some response like, okay, let's ask from you. What is high paid job? What do you think? What is high paid job? President's job, okay?
Prestigious job.
English teacher.
Okay, like you will step by step ask all the questions, you will discuss, and then you will turn. Here you can see signs, plus and minus. Do you see? Here will be moderately controlled activity, like maybe you will attend or not. There will be passive attendance of the teacher, but there will be student-centered continuation of this line. Here you can see sentences. Parents are responsible for choosing career. So here some students are agree and some of them disagree. There will be discussion. On the third step, you can see questions. Here we put the sign of the lamp or lights. Here they have to think individually. Again, they will have discussion in their small groups. Some of those group mates will respond to the questions. There will be free practice then.
Which jobs, for example, which jobs will be the common in near future?
Yes, if we go back to principles, there will be work of principle first from formulate, second from form to meaning, or the third one from meaning to form, fifth, sixth one input output, and ninth one student interaction will be there, and the 10th one at the end you will evaluate together the whole class. It's like 1 minute checklist or exitics. 3 things I have learned, 2 things still I have questions, and 1 thing I want to know. You understand?
Okay.
I can help her with her brilliant, really brilliant presentation. The objective. What is the objective of this lesson?
Objective of the lesson not to teach, we said just we have to work on the critical thinking of the students.
You want to choose a critical thinking skill.
Yes.
One. So compare, contrast, or
Yes.
what's another critical thinking skill? Prioritize, make
Yes.
things more important, less
Prioritize.
It's
important.
like I+1.
Pick one critical thinking skill, and that's your objective for this very good lesson. It's just, that's missing here. To say critical thinking,
Yeah.
it can be 27 things.
Read
It has to be
objectives.
Here, I would like to add some
Specific,
proximal
measurable.
development. Do you remember that?
Zone of
Zone of proximal development. If they have still prior knowledge, there will be addition by gaining from others something.
The objective, the language teaching objective has to be specific, measurable, attainable.
Please read. We have.
So we
Read.
have lead students from form to meaning. This is too general. And using vocabulary of professions, debate, discuss high level of brainstorming.
So what would be a good objective for this fabulous lesson? Help her. Students will be able to,
Enhance your critical thinking skills.
no,
Critical is too big. It's like saying they will
Their
speak English.
communicative skills.
Not communicating.
No.
Also
what
too big.
skill? Name it.
On which topic?
Vocabulary for profession.
Educational.
For professions. Here.
That's
High paid job, low paid job, achievable. Please read this
It's
one.
not critical thinking.
No, this is not.
She wants critical thinking skills.
Students will be able to speak about job
Job and
salaries.
Not speak about, it's gotta be critical. Speaking is just random.
Maybe by comparing.
No.
Compare,
Critical
contrast is
thinking-
one critical thinking skill.
What is it?
What would be?
What it would be?
I have one in my head. What do you have?
Go ahead.
The one, I don't know if it's critical 100%, but the one I thought was they could explain using an example. So I thought an objective could be they can explain their reasoning using an example. So, a high-paid job is someone who's a lawyer because they make a lot of money, or whatever it is, using because.
I looked it up on the internet and I found these statistics for Uzbekistan. Lawyers make more money than teachers.
Basically creating a reason.
The other is to say, is to compare two professions and say one is better than the other because of the money. They have
The
to,
objective is to compare.
comparing is a critical thinking skill, yeah.
Compare.
Being able to pick out an example from a sea of information is a critical thinking skill. Make sense? There are many, you can look it up. There's like
Maybe-
6 skills.
Maybe drawing background information, for example.
About job.
Because
To prove your point. So you
yeah,
have critical,
because high-paid job is maybe some can think that not all lawyers get high-paid.
Maybe pros and
The
cons.
professional worker can get high-paid.
yeah, think
In any
about,
job.
if you're gonna say you're teaching critical thinking, then you have to teach the language of comparison. For example, comparative adjectives. Yeah.
It's like a debate.
It could be debate, it could be opinion, it could be drawing on your background knowledge to prove a point, right? You can't talk about how delicious the cake was because you want to prove that a lawyer is the best profession. That's not a good idea. It doesn't support your point. You want to find something in the student's talking and you help him with the language so that he can do the exercise of the game with critical thinking skills. Yeah, very nice discussion, very good job. Next speaker.
It's my turn. Okay, first of all, let's share our some opinions. What is your activity you like most to use in your classroom? You can share.
Birthday party.
For example, I like activities which needs not teacher talks much, but I want to be passive during the lesson, and by some activity I prefer such activities which give us better understanding what I'm teaching, but students should be active during the lesson, not be.
Okay, thank you. if I talk about my activity, not only my best activity, but also this, my pupils like this activity very much, and they often ask me, please teacher, let's do this activity.
Nice.
This activity's name is Information Gap Activity. Can you move on this side? Information Gap Activities. What is your opinion? Which learning style is it suitable for?
Kinesthetic. No, visual.
Kinesthetic,
Or can be auditory.
auditory.
Because they
will
listen and
talk and listen to each other.
Correct. Why I like it very most? Because information gap activities can be suitable for learning auditory learners because they listen their partners. For visual learners because there are a lot of pictures, and even it's best for if you use it as a group work. Half of the group ask and half of the group ask another questions. The main aim of this activity, each group or each pair has information which the other half needs. The communication must be taken part in. The students will be able to ask some questions. Another thing why I like this information gap activities because students start thinking in English. I think that's the most important thing because another activity, most activities, students start first in Uzbek language and translate it, and after they can speak. But information gap activities, students start thinking in English. Okay. Our information gap activities objectives is students will be able to ask. It's for low-level learners. You can adapt it to any levels and any topics. It's up to you. We'll be able to ask and answer questions about daily activities. Let's do it. For example, let's work in pairs.
Okay.
She's my pair, and she has this side, and I have also a card A and card B. Emmy, Emmy, I know Emmy gets up at 5 o'clock every day, but I don't know Sam. When does it? But my partner knows about it.
Good.
So
Mahira, when does Sam get up?
Sam gets up at 11.
Sam gets up
11.
at 11 o'clock. Yes. Okay. And you don't know about Danny.
I know about Danny. Danny gets up at 6:15.
No.
What time does Danny get up?
Danny gets up at quarter past 6. Quarter past 6.
That's all? Yeah,
Yes.
very good activity. Yeah.
Any questions?
What did you like about the activity?
Ask some.
Yes.
It's peer working, and really it serves to improve communicative skills and just speaking skills. I mean, and besides, we can use any topic here, any topic just according to our textbooks. Yeah, textbooks. And besides here, we can learn any grammar structure. Also, we can connect it with grammar. For example, here present simple. Yes. Your objective is present simple. Yeah. Get up early, wash up, and dress, and maybe present continuous. Maybe. In that case, the students try to make up sentences using present continuous. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Really like it.
Present simple.
I agree, and I agree with what you said, that InfoGap requires students to think in English. Can you say more about that? Why InfoGap is better for that?
As I mentioned above, in other activities, for example, talking about weather. Students first think about Uzbek translation.
Right.
Yağmur yağacaktı. It is raining. But during information gap activities, for example, Diora asked me a question: when does Danny get up? I have a 3 or 5 seconds to think.
Right.
Danny, and I look at the picture.
Right.
Picture,
I see.
the best for visual learners, and he can answer looking at in English. Danny, he's thinking in English. Danny gets up at 6:15. All of them help students do their tasks. They don't need to look for anything else.
Or translate.
All of them
yeah.
are
It's
here.
right in front of them.
Yes. Danny gets up at 3 o'clock.
So they don't have to think.
Yes.
So if they don't know the translation, we can put here pictures and get up.
Yeah.
It will be easy to understand.
Question.
Okay.
What kind of feedback can be provided for this activity? From the side of the teacher or student? Kind
Feedback?
of feedback, yeah.
You can use your summative feedback to the whole group or formative feedback.
No, it would be formative feedback.
What do you think? Can it be possible for peers to give feedback to each other?
Sure. Of
Yeah,
course.
it would
Yes.
be better, I think.
Yeah.
Because they are working in pairs and can easily, how to say,
Evaluate.
define the mistakes of
Scaffold.
their partners.
Scaffold.
Yes. And they cannot feel any kind of shy asking from or giving their comments about it. You you said it wrongly, like this is not 7 o'clock, it's 7:15 like that, yes?
Yes, even they can help each other. For example, one pair says, Sam, get up.
Yeah.
No, gets up. They can help each other. Don't tell get up, gets up.
Can I add to what she just said? It was one of the things that I saw in the module. A lot of people said peer feedback, like you said. But an example would be you give them the potential answers, right? The correct answers, and the peer would look at the possible answers and tell their friend. Do you understand? That is a very different example than just writing peer feedback.
Oh, I see.
Do you see? If you just write for me peer feedback, I don't know what that means. But if you say, I'm going to write all of the correct answers, and they will work with their friend, and telling them while they are working in English, oh no get up, gets up, or something. Like it could even have the right answers, the wrong answers. But do you see what that means by peer feedback? You have to help them. I just wanted to, she was saying it's such a smart question, and that's one of the things I saw in the module write-up. People just write peer feedback. But we don't know what that means.
We should give explanation.
You should explain
Example.
how. What resources. Okay, I just need to add that.
Yeah,
Because that's important when you're doing your lessons. You can't just tell me I'm giving non-obtrusive feedback or whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's right.
What about objectives?
Objectives. Yes, students
Will
will
be
be
able
able
to?
to use present simple, and they can talk about daily activities.
Is it correct? Yes, we can
Almost.
write. Yes.
Probably you want to add 75% of the time or something about measurable. Measurable means you can count something.
We just forgot to add singular using third singular.
Sure.
Using
Third.
The criterion that's missing is measurable, is not there. Everything else is okay. And also you might add in informal settings, something with peers, informal, something it's different from talking to, the mayor of the city or something. You would just make it clear that the context is informal. But it's a good job, very good job, thank you. Next group. These are very, very good, and these are preparing you well for Module 6. Armin already told me he thought
So in the
Having good auditory.
Very good discussion, and Liz was saying everyone's paying attention to each other.
None of this. It's because they're asking you questions, and I changed the model, so I'm so happy. Thank you, go ahead.
In this poster, we have created this poster for 8th grade students. So what do you think? Is it for low levels or high level students? Low level students. This poster has two parts. First part, in the first part, we want students low levels to encourage their speaking skills turn by turn. So here you can see different kinds of types of weather and different places and different days. So the pupils should ask turn by turn, what is the weather in Egypt on Monday? And the next one should answer, on Monday it is sunny in Egypt. So our objectives are students learn the new words relating to the weather, such as temperature, storm, thunderstorm, breeze, chilly, clear and windy, a little bit higher from primary students' textbooks. And here in the next part we try to engage higher level students, because after completing every part of the poster, we invite high level students in order to revise conditionals which they have learned in a 7th grade, because in the 7th grade we have taught them conditionals type 1. If the weather is good, if the weather is sunny, we will go to somewhere. And in the second part, high level students can make such kind of sentences. And as you see, among 3 types of activities which we have looked through, this is information gap activity. In the second part, we change it into think, pair, share activity. Students think for 1 minute and share their activities in pairs for 2 minutes, and they will decide the best place to travel with best weather. And that's all for me. Have you got any questions on this poster?
Speechless.
So is everything clear, or anything is clear?
No question. Thank you.
Very nice, thank you.
So it's our turn. So
Which
we
country
have.
do you want to live in? Egypt? What were the choices?
So we have chosen the topic food, and our for 6th grade students. And as you can see, we have chosen activity.
Information gap?
Information gap activity, yes. And we have included the country, food, and ingredients. Okay, so what is the object, or what are the objectives of our lesson? At the end of the lesson, students will be able to speak about foods of different countries. And they will be able to name the foods, national food of countries too. And what we are going to do, firstly, we will follow the rule which we were taught by our teachers, like KISS. KISS is keep instructions simple and short and simple, yeah? Okay, not long and complex instructions, but short and simple instructions. So we will divide students into small groups. We will distribute handouts. This handout with information gap activity. Then I didn't mention that it's a review lesson. That's why students have a lot of information about the national food of different countries and what kind of ingredients are needed for to cook this food. And so we will give them, so small groups, we have divided them into small groups, and that's why we will give them 10 minutes. What they are going to do, they have to fill in the blanks with information. For example, Uzbekistan, national food or popular food of Uzbekistan is palo, yes? And ingredients, what kind of ingredients we need to cook palo? Or curry, yes, curry. Curry is a popular food in India, and what kind of ingredients they need to cook curry? Or Italy, cheese, sausages, flour, and tomato. So they have to guess which foods they are going to cook. It's like pizza, yeah? Okay, and they will work. And why we gave them 10 minutes? Because within this time, they will be able to fill in the blanks, and also they will be able to, we will give them some small cards or stickers where they will write feedbacks to each others if they have about each others, about participants of the group. And that's why we gave them 10 minutes. Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it highly controlled? Is it moderately controlled, or is it free practice activity? What type of activity?
So I think it's free practice because students are working independently apart from the teacher.
Okay, the next question is there any topic, any information about foods of other countries in the textbook, or should they create themselves?
No, background. Background addressed background knowledge, because I have mentioned that it's a review lesson.
Yeah.
I would like to ask from noise. So, what is the role of teacher in this activity?
Teacher is instructor, gives instructions, and noise controller.
What about curry? For example, I don't know ingredients of curry.
So we have learned with you in our previous lessons, so you have to know it.
Is it spicy food?
Yes, because it's
Bitter, yes?
Yes.
I know curry is from India, but I don't know ingredients. Sorry.
I have a question about the free because independent from teacher. Can you say a little more about that?
No, they said what kind of, so we said it's free practice, so free practice because students are working independently with, in a group, in a small group. Yes, and the role of teacher in here is not too big but small.
Isn't it moderately controlled? Because there are countries, Uzbekistan, Italy, Korea.
Because anyway, teacher delivers or
She provided the information.
Yes.
If she didn't provide information and give them chance to collaborate and create something by themselves, it will be, I think,
Very good discussion.
I
Very
think it's
good.
great.
Great. Food is always a good topic.
Okay, we are the last, yes, group. You
Now,
can see.
remember, you're just before lunch.
Yeah.
So we're very happy.
So,
You have a good audience.
Kiss it.
Okay, we'll try it.
so we have created a lesson plan, we can say, yes, for, how do you think, for which grade it is? Uzbekistan, UK, Canada, USA, what do you think?
Yes.
Which classes is
10th grade.
4, 9. It's the name of the lesson is project lesson. It's about we will revise educational system of Uzbekistan, UK, USA, and Canada.
Yeah.
There is in the book. So the aim, the objective of the lesson is students will be able to consolidate educational system of Uzbekistan, USA, Canada, Uzbekistan, and improve their communicative skills. So here you can see we have chosen Jigsaw Activity. We did it in last lesson, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, before yesterday we did it, so we have chosen this activity because we liked it very much. It's very interesting. So here we divide students into groups.
1, 2, 3, 4. We divide them into 4 groups, and for each group we give topic. For example, for this group we give education of Uzbekistan, USA, Uzbekistan, education of UK, and education of Canada. But they have already learned it, just for review. They will look at it for how many minutes? For 2 minutes. Each of them.
About 2 minutes.
They will learn, they will read it. Each group will learn. So after 2 minutes, before reading this text, we select for each group timekeepers, note takers, and question askers for each group, like we did in the lesson. So they start reading. After 2 minutes, we move to next activity. It's speaking activity. And here, one student stays in this group, and also in this group also one student will stay. They will be speakers. And for each group,
We'll give 1 minute.
only 1 minute to speaking for the first time. And after a minute, they will move to next group. And here overall will be 4 minutes. It takes overall 4 minutes. And they will hear everything. They will move around. And then after 4 minutes, we move to next activity. All of them are controlled activities, not free. So our next activity is?
Our next activity is information gap activity. Just my colleagues told about it. During the information gap activity, they fill this table according to the information which they have learned already, and it is free practice activity. That's why we try to combine all reading activity and speaking and information gap activity in one activity. So that's all.
And after that, we can also add which type of activity? Project? To make a poster. Yes, it was the first activity. We can add to creating a poster about.
If time limits.
Yes, there is a time, we can add it.
Thank you.
Okay, questions?
Really good. What you've seen here are 2, 4, 6 different, very different perspectives on this whole topic of objective writing. You were trying very hard to make your objectives strong, and that's good. It's going to be easier once you start to do it for Module 6 assignment. Also, the content of the lesson, you are really digging deep down, and you're seeing differences between communicative and moderately controlled and controlled. Also, the steps and the logic of the steps is clearer every time you do this. This was the best yet. Really, all of you did a very nice job today. A big round of applause for the birthday people and everyone.
What about objective? Is it correct?
Yeah.
Or maybe we should add something specific.
Remind us again.
Say it again.
To consolidate educational system of the countries and to improve students' communication skills.
Again, measurable. About 75% of the time they would be able to do this because they're going to make mistakes. And so measurable means you put in some kind of percentage that is passing grade. Does that make sense to you? I'm glad you brought this up because nobody else did.
I would just add to it maybe by speaking, reading, listening, and writing about different countries. Because that way you have something that you can see at the end of class. Did they listen to each other? Did they fill out their charts?
But measurable means that that you can count something.
Yeah.
Count.
Yeah, you as the teacher can assess, give a grade. You can give a grade. So the students are talking about these various education systems, and you're listening and keeping notes on these 4 students' performance. And you say, okay, feedback and a grade. 75 is the passing grade, or 80% or whatever. That you can say, when they finish this lesson, they should be able